Dreams have always fascinated humanity. From the earliest civilizations, people tried to interpret them, to see in those strange night visions the voice of gods, ancestors, or even hidden truths about the future. But today, we have something much stronger than superstition. We have science. And science allows us to go beyond mystical interpretations into the real mechanisms of the human brain. The world of dreams is not some magical theater. It is the result of a complex dance of neurons, chemistry, and memory. Understanding it is not just curiosity. It means understanding ourselves. Every night when we fall asleep, the brain does not shut down. That is a myth. In fact, in some phases of sleep, the brain is almost more active than when we are awake. There are stages that science has mapped with precision. Stage 1, the moment when consciousness slips away. Stage 2, when we are deeply asleep but still without dreams. Then Stage 3 is an IV, where slow waves dominate and the body repairs itself. And then finally REM sleep, rapid eye movement, the place where dreams live. During REM, the brain lights up, heart rate increases, breathing accelerates, the eyes dart beneath the eyelids, and most importantly, the theater of the mind opens. Why does the brain dream? This is the central question. There is no single answer, but several powerful theories. One of the most accepted is the memory consolidation theory. While we dream, the brain processes experiences from the day. It selects what matters, what deserves to be stored long-term, and what can be discarded. Dreams are like the rehearsal of memory, a way of sorting chaos into order. Another theory is the emotional regulation theory. In this vision, dreams help us process emotions too intense or complex for waking life. They allow us to replay fears, anxieties, and even traumas in a safe environment, reducing their weight. Of course, there are also more provocative theories. Some scientists argue that dreams are simply random, the brain firing without direction, and our consciousness trying to make sense of meaningless images. But even randomness can reveal something, because the very attempt of the brain to build a coherent story shows its deepest structure. Think of it. Every night we create entire worlds, complex characters, impossible scenarios, all without a scriptwriter. It's proof of the brain's creative power. But let's get concrete. What happens neuron by neuron when we dream? During REM sleep, certain areas of the brain light up. The amygdala, which regulates emotions, is particularly active. That explains why dreams are often so emotionally intense. The hippocampus, guardian of memory, also plays a role linking fragments of the day with older memories. But the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain, is less active. That's why dreams seem illogical, surreal, even absurd. Logic is turned down, emotion is turned up, and imagination takes over. There is a detail worth noticing. In dreams, time bends. Sometimes what feels like hours happens in just minutes. Sometimes a single second stretches into an entire narrative. This distortion of time perception shows how the brain constructs reality. Our sense of time is not fixed. It is a creation of neural rhythms, and in dreams those rhythms shift. Now let's talk about the content of dreams. Studies show that most dreams are not extraordinary. They are about daily life, work, conversations, fears, ordinary actions, and yet inside that ordinariness strange intrusions occur. Flying, falling, being chased, meeting the dead. These recurring themes appear in cultures across the globe. Why one explanation is evolutionary. For example, dreams of being chased may reflect ancient survival rehearsals. The brain practicing responses to threats in a safe environment. Nightmares, on the other hand, are an extreme form of this mechanism. They often replay trauma or amplify anxieties, but even nightmares have a function. They are the rehearsal of fear, a way of training the brain to face danger. People who have frequent nightmares often show heightened emotional sensitivity. It is as if their brain is constantly trying to resolve unresolved conflicts. One of the most fascinating aspects is lucid dreaming. This is when the dreamer becomes aware that they are dreaming. Some can even control their dreams. Fly at will, change scenarios, speak with dream characters consciously. Lucid dreaming has been studied with rigorous methods, including eye movement signals during REM, and it has practical applications, from overcoming nightmares to enhancing creativity, even to motor training. Athletes have used lucid dreaming to rehearse moves, artists to unlock inspiration. It's like having a private simulation chamber inside your mind. There is also a darker side, sleep paralysis. This occurs when the body remains paralyzed by REM mechanisms, but consciousness wakes up. The result is terrifying. The dreamer feels trapped, unable to move, sometimes seeing hallucinations of figures, shadows, presences. Throughout history, cultures interpreted these episodes as demons or spirits. In truth, it is the collision of REM paralysis with semi-awake consciousness. A glitch of the system. But even glitches can teach us something. They show how fragile the line between waking and dreaming really is. Science has also investigated how external stimuli influence dreams. A sound in the real world can become part of the dream. The classic example, hearing a phone ring and dreaming of a bell. This proves that the brain is not closed off during sleep. It is still scanning the environment, ready to wake if needed. But can dreams predict the future? Many believe so. In reality, science suggests a different explanation. Dreams draw on our subconscious, on details we have noticed but not consciously processed. If sometimes they seem prophetic, it is because the brain is connecting dots before our waking mind does. That does not make them mystical. It makes them powerful. Let's pause for a moment and consider the numbers. An average human spends about a third of life sleeping. That means around 25 years of a lifespan. Out of those, about 6 years are spent dreaming. Think about it. 6 years of entire worlds created, lived, and then forgotten upon waking. This fact alone shows how central dreams are to human existence. Memory of dreams is another field of study. Why do we forget most of them? The answer lies in neurochemistry. During REM, certain neurotransmitters like norepinephrine are reduced. This weakens the transfer of dream content into long-term memory. That's why if you don't write down a dream immediately upon waking, it vanishes. Keeping a dream journal, writing as soon as you open your eyes is one way to capture that fleeting material. And this is not just for curiosity. Dream journals have been used in psychology to uncover recurring patterns, unresolved conflicts, even insights into personal growth. Historically, dreams have influenced art, science, and even inventions. Kekule dreamed of a snake biting its own tail and discovered the ring structure of benzene. Paul McCartney heard melodies in his dreams that became world-famous songs. Writers from Mary Shelley to Stephen King found entire stories born from dreams. This is no coincidence. The dreaming brain does not respect rational boundaries. It connects distant ideas, fuses unrelated memories, and produces combinations the waking mind would never allow. That is the essence of creativity. But let's not romanticize dreams too much. They are not magical gifts. They are biological functions. Their power lies in their nature as simulations. The brain is a prediction machine. Even in dreams, it is rehearsing, predicting, testing. Every bizarre scene, every impossible transformation is part of this constant rehearsal of possibilities. Modern neuroscience is advancing further. Brain imaging allows researchers to map dream activity in real time. Some experiments have even reconstructed images from dreams by decoding brain patterns. We are still far from reading dreams like an open book, but the direction is clear. One day it might be possible to record dreams as movies. Imagine waking up and watching what your brain created. This possibility raises ethical questions. Should our most private mental landscapes be exposed? What happens when the boundary between private imagination and external reality collapses? Dream science also touches on therapy. For PTSD patients, nightmares are a daily prison. But techniques like imagery rehearsal therapy allow them to rewrite nightmares while awake, and then influence their dream patterns. This shows that we are not just passive victims of our dreams. We can intervene, There are even experiments on inducing dreams through stimulation. Sounds, lights, even mild electrical signals applied to the brain during sleep can influence dream content. Imagine a future where you can choose your dream, design your own night world, or rehearse skills on demand. This might sound like science fiction, but the foundations are already here. Yet despite all this, one thing remains: the mystery. We can explain mechanisms, we can map brainwaves, we can measure REM cycles, but the subjective experience of dreaming, the feeling of flying, the terror of falling, the intimacy of talking to someone long dead, that cannot be reduced to numbers. It is the raw essence of consciousness itself, and that is what keeps dream science both powerful and humble. So what is the science of dreams? It is not about decoding symbols like old dream dictionaries suggested. It is about understanding the brain's function during sleep, consolidating memory, regulating emotion, fueling creativity, preparing for survival. Dreams are not messages from outside. They are messages from within. And in them, the human mind shows its deepest truth. It never rests. From the perspective of biology, psychology, and neuroscience, dreams are the purest mirror of what it means to be human. They strip away logic, censorship, and control, leaving only the raw fire of thought. And that fire continues to burn every night, whether we remember it or not.